All right, now this is the last section of Unit 5 that we're covering. We'll talk about knowledge of news, political communication, theory of cognitive dissonance, and a couple other things too. So knowledge of news, there is soft news and there is hard news. So soft news and why we have soft news happens when there's a high choice media environment. So a lot of news outlets available to choose from. That selective media, the high accessibility. And because there is a high choice media environment, journalists and news organizations want to make news more entertaining in order to continue to make more money, because there is a business plan in place. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the course. So, soft news are things that often sensationalism usually. We can think about the Will Smith Chris Rock slap. This would be an example of soft news. Infotainment and sensationalism, meaning information but also involving entertainment, and sensationalism is when we make a large deal out of something that maybe it's, if we think back to our information utility, it's like, this is really interesting, but is it news? And it is news, right? But in terms of utility, it's hard to say. Okay, so let's talk about hard news really fast also. Well, let me back that up. Sorry. So if you're determining what's hard news and what's soft news, ask yourself the following questions. What subject is being covered? Is it and related to a topic dimension? Is it about entertainment? Is it about celebrities? Is it about election results? Consider what the subject is, and then what aspects of the events or topics are emphasized. That's our focus dimension. Also consider how events and topics are being presented visually and verbally. This is our style dimension. So in order to determine if news is hard news or soft news, you want to think about these questions. If the topic dimension is like Saturday, I used that example before, then that's soft news, right? If it's a major financial crisis in the stock market, that would be more so hard news. All right, let's keep going. I want you to just jot down on a piece of paper or on your phone or computer or whatever you want and answer these questions as we go through. So, and you can write down, again, I'm not collecting these because we're online, but just do pay attention to what your answers are and what the correct answers are. So these are hard news questions. Can you identify the Prime Minister of Britain? I'm going to give you a second to write that down. Okay. The answer is Keir Starmer. So if you put something else, like I think of the Prime Minister of Britain as, what's his name? He was a sensationalized appointment or character. Oh, now I can't remember his name. Boris Johnson, that's who it was. But it's changed a lot since, it's changed several times since then. Okay, so mark if you got it wrong or if you got it right. Can you identify the president of Mexico? I'll give you a second to answer that one. The answer is Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. And you might know this one because she has been in the news recently because of the tariff back and forths with everyone. She's been of note in the news lately. Okay, so next hard news question. What issue was addressed in the Kyoto Protocol? Give you a second to answer that one. The answer is climate change. Okay. So count up how many of those you got right. And let's go into soft news questions. Which country was supposed to host the 2020 Olympics? Remember, this was back in COVID times, COVID days. Japan. City is Tokyo. So make note if you got that one correct. The actor Tom Cruise is a member of a religious organization. Which one? The answer is the Church of Scientology. Next question. Who is the winner of the Tour de France in 2005? And the answer is Lance Armstrong. All right, how many soft news questions did you answer correctly? Most students answer more soft news questions than hard news questions. And you'll notice with those soft news examples, there was a level of either sensationalism or infotainment, meaning entertainment and information involved, where the hard news questions were lacking in that. So based on these results, we can assume that we might be consuming and retaining more soft news than hard news is the story here. So I'm going to pause this and then start a new one.